The reason, the rhyme. 5 things that mean something to me and the reasons why. This time, the first records I bought and Christmas presents, also known as 79p singles, Lyle Scott jumpers and a 14 bracket snooker. First, now, I had to be different, didn't I? Obviously. Most people go out and buy their first record. Not me, I bought 2 on the same day. From W.H. Smith's or Woolworths in Eston and Middlesbrough, and I can't remember which one it was. It was a long time ago, it was 1981, you know what I mean? Like, I've slept since then. So I did buy 2, but the very first one I picked up, and I seem to remember it being 79p. That sticks in my mind. Someone in the comments will probably tell me that I'm wrong, but you know, again, 1981. The first one I picked up was this very record. This is Shut Up by Madness. I love this tune. It's a whole little story in one go, which I love them for. They used to do that quite regularly. They tell an entire tale, a slice of British life in a 3-minute single. I love the cover of it. I love the name of it. I mean, Shut Up. What a great name. But I've had that since 1981. I have played it and played it and played it. I think it might be scratched on one side. But Madness, I always thought they were a fantastic band for an 8-year-old boy to be into. They're quite upbeat, jaunty, very funny. The videos were always superb. And also quite sophisticated. I don't think Madness get the respect they deserve for how sophisticated the music is. It's not throwaway stuff. It might sound it at times because of some of the stuff they sing about, but it's not. It's really good, well written, honed and very finely crafted music. And I think it's a good introduction into that, into the British storytelling kind of things that the Kinks did as well. Brilliant. And they tackled a lot of social subjects. I mean, Baggy Trousers, again, sounds like a throwaway song. It isn't. That is about being in school during the 70s and even the 80s when I was there. That was pretty much, it was written about that. Embarrassment, about mixed marriages or mixed babies, out of wedlock even. That was still a thing back then. It's bizarre, but that's a slice of what happened. So it's very, very interesting social commentary. The Specials did similar kind of things as well. We don't have as much of that nowadays. People were not singing just, yeah, I want to hold your hand and I love you, I love you, I love you. They were talking about the bigger issues in society, things that needed addressing at the time, probably still need addressing now. We do tend to have gone backwards, I think. Yeah, but that was it. The very first single, and I've still got it. That is a boss cover, I like, innit? Has to be said. There you go. My first ever record that I bought with my own money, that I wasn't given, that wasn't handed to me. Shut Up by Madness. And the second single I bought that day, again for 79p in Eston in Middlesbrough, was the Undertones' It's Gonna Happen. I love that band. I didn't realise how political it was until a bit later on in life, but I just knew it was important and interesting music. So I really do. I love this tune. To this day, it doesn't get the credit it deserves. It's not Teenage Kicks. It's not My Perfect Cousin. I think it's better than that. Much better. Absolutely love it. And I feel right now I need to make an apology to Fergal Sharkey. I once called him a Timotei-headed knob on Twitter because of a good heart these days is hard to find. How can you go from the Undertones to flicking your hair back and singing Blue-Eyed Soul? I couldn't get it at the time. I still don't really, but it's turned out he's an absolutely fantastic fella. He's the one who's looking after our waterways in this country, or doing his best to anyway. So Fergal, I apologise wholeheartedly, mate. It's not too bad a song, is it? A good heart. And it comes from the right place. It comes from a good heart. But it's going to happen. Fantastic. All the Undertone stuff is superb. It's much more than just the 2 big singles that everyone knows, or Here Comes the Summer. There's loads more to it than that. And it's a proper documentary as well of what was happening in Northern Ireland during the height of the Troubles. So, from the other side of the wall, your life's too easy. Or, you know what I mean, mate? Just go and check it out. Check out their back catalogue. Don't just stick with the two songs that everyone knows. There's so much more to it than that. Every day of the week's when Saturday comes, which is ironic because I am now recording this on a Saturday. And even more ironic, Everton have just won, which is why I'm not looking as miserable as usual. Yeah, go and check out the Undertones, man. They're much better band than you ever think. Go on, do it now. Up next is the first album I ever bought with my own money. I've been given albums before, but this is the first one I actually purchased. And I bought it from a record shop in Enschede town centre. Enschede is a city in the Netherlands, and that was where my dad was playing football at the time. And the record I bought was this one, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. And as first albums go, it was a gatefold double album. Again, no half measures with me. Your first record has to be two at once. Bizarre, but true. And I was blown away by it. I was blown away by when I first heard Relax, which obviously is an absolute all-time classic. One of those songs that, well, the BBC banned it because it was lewd and they put a word for it. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it didn't fit in with the BBC's culture at the time, which is ironic, really, when you consider what was going on at the BBC back then. And of course, the Streisand effect kicked in because the more they banned it, the more it sold, the more it got to number one in the charts, the more they had to either play it on the radio, play it on Top of the Pops, or give a reason why they weren't doing it, which meant it got even further and sold more records. So, yeah. But it sounded amazing, and it was produced by Trevor Horn, who I didn't realise at the time had been in Yes. He was the singer in Yes for one album, Drama, back in 1980 or 81, I think that was. And then went on to produce Owner of a Lonely Heart, which is their biggest ever hit. And I didn't realise it was him until a little bit later on. But his production is all over it. His production is one of the main reasons why it's sold so much. And if you listen to it now, it's 40 years old. This came out in 1984, I think. 40 years old, and it still sounds fresh today. You could say to someone that it was recorded any time within that last 40 years and it would sound legitimate. It still sounds as good as anything else that comes out at the moment, if not better. His production work is absolutely amazing. Relax is still played constantly. Two Tribes is always played at sporting events. And of course, the third of the big hits off there was The Power of Love, which at the time was one of 3 Power of Loves in the charts and the best by an absolute distance. Take that, Jennifer Rush. It still isn't a Boss album, and it should be in everyone's record collection. Here endeth the lesson. Next is Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins. Now, my uncle Paul used to buy me a record every Christmas. 12-inch record if it was a decent version of something or just a single. And it was always something he chose rather than something I wanted to listen to. Which are quite lucky that he's got decent taste. I've still got that Hold Me Now Thompson's Twin 12-inch in the house. What it reminds me of always, every time I hear it on the radio, on Spotify, on TV, on wherever, it reminds me of Christmas. Because he bought me at one Christmas and my mum and dad bought me a 6-foot snooker table, which I had up in my nan's parlour in the back room. And I played loads of snooker with my mates while listening to music, and that was one of the songs we played. And I got a 14 break and I was buzzing off that. But a 14 break's nothing, is it? Well, when you're young, a 14 break's pretty decent. And to a decent song as well. Yeah, Thompson Twins. Wrote some good stuff, didn't he? I mean, genuinely wrote some really nice, decent hits, good tunes. But that one, I love songs that can put me somewhere, that can remind me of where I was at the time, what I was doing. Anyway, playing snooker, 14 break, Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now. And finally, another Christmas song given to me by my Uncle Paul. This is Tears for Fears and Shout. 85, I think this one was. I'd already got the first album, The Hurtin', by this point, which I absolutely loved. And then this come out, and it sounded so much bigger and heavier than those songs. Like they discovered another distortion pedal or something like that, but it sounded superb. It's still to this day, if you heard him playing it live, it's a proper anthem. A proper, if you play Glastonbury, that'll be the one that everyone sings. It's one of those kind of tunes. But it reminds me, like a lot of the stuff that our Paul bought me it reminds me of Christmas, because they were Christmas presents, obviously, but things that happened over the Christmas. Now, there's a tradition in Liverpool, which I think there probably is in most of Northern England, if not most of the UK, where you get a new outfit for Christmas and one for Easter. And Christmas, I remember, this song reminds me of a particular outfit, which was a new pair of jeans, a pair of pod, not kickers, pod, half had pod, half had kickers, a nice shirt, and a Lyle Scott golfing jumper, which was all the rage. All I needed then to top it all off was a Trevor Stephen, Paul Bracewell wedge haircut, and unfortunately I had a cut similar, but I couldn't quite get the same kind of haircut as they did, which I was gutted because I loved them too. Yeah, but Tears for Fears, Shout, let it all out, and you should do. So there you go. There's my 5 things that mean something to me and the reasons why. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like that 5, why not check out these next, or even these.